counter-protesters gathering at a planned rally. The Halifax rally was part of a 1 million March for Children movement that was holding demonstrations right across the country. The group's website said it is advocating for the elimination of the sexual orientation and gender identity curriculum, pronouns, gender ideology, and mixed bathrooms in schools. Now, while the group frames itself as not being hateful or transphobic, trans people and their allies say eliminating any mention of sexual orientation and gender identity at schools is harmful to children who may need support outside of their homes. Lisa Lachance is the NDP MLA for Halifax Citadel Sable Island, the first genderqueer deputy speaker in Nova Scotia. They're also the Nova Scotia NDP's 2S Lgbtq.
Across the country, people took to the streets to voice their opposition to what they believe is being taught in schools. These rallies saw a clash between protesters and counter-protesters, but neither side could claim a clear victory. Organised as the 1 million March for Children, parents, children, students, educators, politicians and activists gathered in various cities to protest what they referred to as gender ideology being taught in school. Critics of the protesters argue that they are being hateful and intolerant, but the march participants deny these claims. On the other side, counter-protesters showed up to support LGBTQ students and communities. Many education experts have criticized the protesters, stating that they fundamentally misunderstand the role of the public school system and the impact their demonstrations have on the safety and mental health of non-gender conforming students. These experts argue that the protesters' focus on parent rights fails to acknowledge the existence and rights of queer children. While the protests were framed as opposition to the socialization and indoctrination of children in schools, they have also spread significant misinformation about what is actually being taught and medical procedure. Many of the issues fueling people's anger and fear are based on misinformation and outright lies. The protesters seem to believe that these ideas are contagious, as if one can catch gender ideology or that trans people don't exist. They argue that parents should have a role and responsibility in their children's education, but they are falsely portraying schools and teachers as keeping secrets from parents. It is crucial to challenge and debunk this framing. The diversity of opinions and interests surrounding this issue was evident in the protesters themselves. Parents who opposed teaching sexual orientation and gender diversity in classrooms pushed back against others' interpretations of their motivations. The protests included people of various faiths, peacefully advocating for their beliefs and the protection of their families' rights. In response to the protests, Education Minister Stephen Lex released a statement affirming the government's commitment to the safety and well-being of all children in schools, regardless of their faith, heritage, sexual orientation, or skin color. In Calgary, dozens of protesters lined a busy downtown road, chanting and playing music while police observed and office workers navigated through the crowd. This raises the question of whether kids are being indoctrinated with LGBTQ in school. Please subscribe for more videos.